What up, New York Giant Nation? It's your boy, MacDaGiantsFan, coming back at you with another New York Giant update. Gonna start off with Patrick Graham. Will be returning as the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. Thank you, goodness, because he was going to be a hot commodity this offseason for head coaching jobs. He was already, as a matter of fact, called in for an interview with the New York Jets. But thankfully, the New York Giants was able to wrestle him back because he did great things with his defense this season, and I want to see what he can do in year two. Today, I want to talk about a little bit of these draft needs I feel like we have. I feel like in the draft, we need to really look to solidify our pass rush. We absolutely need a Batman pass rusher. At this point, we need a Batman. Kyle Fackrell was a good pickup last year, but he's not a Batman. He's a Robin. Until Lorenzo Carter proves otherwise, I'm not even sure if he's a Robin, to be quite frank. So we definitely need to address that issue in the draft. I feel like, and the best way to address that issue is to get it in the draft. I feel like try to pick up a stud in the draft, a young guy that can develop and be with this team for a long time. Also, I feel like we need to address that wide receiver issue. Just like I said about the pass rushers, we need a Batman wide receiver as well. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. It's just, they're just not good enough as a unit. They're just, it's not. We have decent receivers, but none of them are legit number ones. And as a unit, they just collectively don't get the job done. And I also feel like we still need to address offensive line a little bit in the draft. Not necessarily early on, you know what I mean? I think we can fall back to the later rounds and just address more of a depth thing. Keep adding depth to that position, to the offensive line, because offensive line is coming together. Now it's time to gel for those guys to gel, the ones we have in place and any new guys we add to the roster. I also wouldn't be opposed to a late round quarterback because, like I said, I'm all down to give Daniel Jones one more season to prove himself. But in order for that to be fair, we have to get what I just said in there. We need to get this kid a number one wide receiver. He has not had one yet in his career. So we do have to do that. We have to honor him with that at least, because I think it's hard to get a fair assessment of this guy when he's thrown to a bunch of number 2 or number 3 receivers. I love Sterling Shepard, but Sterling Shepard is what he is. He's a number 2 at best. He can't go into the season with Sterling Shepard being your top guy. He's a legitimate number 2. He's definitely, when we had OBJ, I feel like he's definitely a very crafty number 2, because when you got a number 1 that can draw the attention away from him, he can make a lot of plays. However, he's just not a number 1 guy, so we have to address that. And I would like to. I don't know if we necessarily need to. I would prefer an edge rusher in the first round. I prefer to go that way in the first round, because there's a lot of, coming up to this next topic, a lot of nice candy out there in free agency at the wide receiver position. I mean, it's some top guys out there, and I think we need to nail at least one of these guys as well. This is why I'm saying I'd rather focus more on the edge rusher in the first round of the draft, because I'd be okay with a second or third round receiver if we can land one of these free agent wide receivers. And a couple of them I like that I feel like could be good fits for the New York Giants. It's Kenny Golladay. I wouldn't be opposed to that, even though this season was a bit weird with him. I'm not 100% sure what was totally going on, if he just, enough is enough in that horrible Detroit franchise, or what it is, but something was weird about him all season this year, and I know because I had him on a couple of my fantasy teams, and he really hurt me bad. But enough of that. Allen Robinson is a guy I absolutely love. Absolutely love Allen Robinson. Actually, out of these guys, I feel like he's the one I want the most. He'd be the one that I really, really would like the Giants to go after hard. Allen Robinson, I would love for him to be a New York Giant next season. Chris Godwin is also going to be available. And you know what? That wide receiver room is getting awfully crowded in Tampa Bay, so he might be just looking for a way out. I mean, all things looking like Mike Evans is going to be okay. Doesn't have any structural damage to that knee, so he should not be missing any time starting off next season. Antonio Brown, we don't know if they're going to bring Antonio Brown back, but he had a good last couple of games of this season. So you just never know what they're going to do there with him. Godwin might just be looking to get out, and so he can be the man all by himself somewhere. And I would not be opposed to Chris Godwin being a New York Giant next year either. Juju, I feel like Juju also is an upgrade from what we have right now currently on the roster. Yeah, but I'm not sure if he's that ultimate elite top end number one receiver. But I still wouldn't be totally opposed if we went that way either. And another guy I put in that Juju category a little bit, Corey Davis. I thought he did good things this season. I thought he kind of revived his career this season, proved why he was that first round pick that he was. Because and he played very strong this season. And in times when A.J. Brown was banged up a lot this season, Corey Davis definitely was stepping up for Tannehill and Tennessee Titans down there. He did good things, and I was proud of the kid. He really showed up. And I wouldn't be totally opposed if we went in the direction where we got a guy like that. But then that would change the way you want to draft a wide receiver, because I feel like if you went Juju and Corey Davis in free agency, somebody like those, receivers like that, then I feel like maybe we might want to consider a first-round receiver. Because I'm not 100% sold on Juju and Corey Davis being number ones. I just think they're both upgrades from what we have right now. And then in free agency and the edge rushers, not as deep a free agency class of edge rushers like the wide receivers, but a couple of guys that stand out to me are Shaq Barrett and Bud Dupree. And I know Bud Dupree got hurt late in this season, so it's not likely we'll be targeting him. But I still want to throw his name in there because I knew he was going to be a free agent. And he was just he was a guy that I was interested in early in the season, waiting for the season to be over to hope we can maybe go after him. It's probably not likely now with the injury he suffered, unfortunately. But I also do like Shaq Barrett. Wouldn't be opposed to him coming in, becoming a New York Giant. You got to see. I mean, we got plenty of time. We just got to really be calculated with these moves this offseason, because I feel like we had a pretty strong offseason last year, contrary to what people were saying at the time. Because everybody thought we overpaid James Bradbury and overpaid Blake Martinez. These guys paid dividends this year. Bradbury was arguably the best cornerback in the league this year. Arguably. I'm not going to necessarily take it all the way that far. But he's in the conversation for the season he had. It was absolutely just lights out. And people kind of dogged us last year when we picked up Bradbury, acting like, trying to downplay it like just not no big deal. He's not that great. He's not that good. I mean, I knew he had to. I mean, the guy used to play in the NFC South. He was literally lining up across from Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, receiver. I mean, not DJ Moore. Excuse me. He played on the same team as DJ Moore. I'm sorry. Michael Thomas though, Julio Jones, like he was lining up across from future Hall of Fame wide receivers. You know what I mean? So on a weekly basis, damn near. I mean, he played those guys 6 times a year. When you combine with all the games. I mean, so. Well, Bradbury definitely had a tremendous season, and we had a great offseason last year, draft and free agency. It ended up paying dividends. Most of the new pickups from draft and free agency definitely contributed in very positive ways this offseason. So I look forward to this offseason moving forward. I have definitely more draft info on for you guys when I get a chance to really take a look at some of these top prospects, about some of the guys I like, the college guys I like at these certain positions. And I will be getting back to you soon on that. So once again, thank you for listening. And if you like what you heard, please come to my channel, subscribe, hit them likes, ring that bell. It's your boy Mac the Giants fan. Peace.